In this video, we're going to be talking about travelling abroad. Do you like travelling abroad?
Yes, I really enjoy travelling abroad. I love the buzz of the airport and I love flying.
How often do you travel?
I like to travel abroad 2 or 3 times a year, sometimes to visit friends who live abroad and other times for longer holidays.
What's your favourite place to visit?
My favourite city to visit is Barcelona. I've been there a few times and I find that each time I go, I find something different to see and to learn about the different culture there, and also the artists and the architecture. I find it very interesting. There's also the market, and it's really great because it also has a beach area. So I find that Barcelona has everything that you could want. It could be very hot there in the summer or quite cold in the winter. So every time you visit, it's a different experience.
Do you prefer travelling alone or with others?
I really like travelling alone. I find that when you go to the airport, you can choose where to sit on your own. You could go to have a coffee or cake or look at the shops on your own. If you're travelling with other people, you have to consider what they think and they're carrying luggage and things like that. But I like the independence of travelling alone.
And what kind of places do you like to visit? Do you go to the beach? Do you prefer the city or countryside?
I enjoy visiting cities because you can go to art galleries, museums and different cafes, or even sit in the park watching people with a picnic, etc. But my favourite places are a city where you can also go to the beach. Even if it's a bus ride away, you have the option of like 2 holidays in one. But my main preference is for city holidays.
The next question is, have you ever travelled to another country? I imagine you have, because you said about Barcelona.
Yes, many years ago I went to Tunisia, which I found very different. I wasn't expecting the different culture and the different style of food so much. I think now you can do a lot of research before you go travelling, so you know what kind of food to expect and the customs and things like that, and the transport system. Whereas back in the 1980s, you didn't have so much information at hand. So if you went travelling to a foreign country, sometimes it was quite a shock what you found, and you were unsure what you could and couldn't do. It was a cultural shock, also because it was the first time I'd been abroad. But as a country, it was beautiful, really beautiful. The beaches were fantastic, and I really enjoyed it. It was a wonderful holiday.
Do you prefer short trips or long trips?
I prefer long weekend city breaks. In the past, we've had long 2-week holidays, package holidays, and we had a big family because the travelling to the destination was exhausting with young children, and so it took you a few days to relax and get into the holiday mode and to really enjoy yourself. So 2 weeks was perfect then. But now I really like my home comforts, and so I think 3 or 4 days going away is perfect for me. I like to travel, but I also like coming back home.
Do you think it's better to travel domestically or internationally?
It really depends how adventurous you are. I know some older people who love to go on big holidays, grand destinations, safaris, or to China, or the Caribbean, for example. But there are other people like myself who like to go on short trips abroad, but their main travelling experiences are in their own country. I love to catch a train to a new city or town for the weekend and then go walking in the countryside, and I think that's enough of a holiday for me in my own country.
The next question is, why do you think people like to travel?
I think it's escapism from their normal life. So a lot of people work Monday to Friday every week, and they have 2 or 3 weeks holiday from work a year, and so they want to really make the most of this time. And then there are people who have retired. Maybe they've retired at a younger age and they need something to fill their time, so they save up to have a grand holiday or a cruise. A lot of people like cruising, and I think it just breaks up the monotony of regular life.
And have you ever had a bad travel experience?
No, I can't think that I've ever had a bad experience. I think I've experienced delays, like at the airport you get some delays, but I'm not someone who's bothered about that. I like to just sit and wait. I'm not worried about waiting, but a lot of people don't like hanging around and waiting. I've heard of some reports that people get food poisoning or have accidents on holidays, but I think a lot of that is to do with where they go, or they're not being careful because they're doing activities which are not in their normal day-to-day life. So if you're going skiing, for example, you have to be careful what you're doing and pay attention to what the instructor says.
Do you take photos when you travel?
Yes, I love taking photos on my phone and sharing them with friends and family.
And what about the following question? Do you think that travel is expensive? I think it depends.
I think it can be expensive, but again, with the internet now, you can do a lot more research before you buy or book a holiday. Years ago, you went to a travel agent and they sold you the holiday without giving you a lot of options, or you didn't really know other price options. But now you can do your research and a holiday can be as cheap or expensive as you like. You could fly with a cheap airline and book a hotel yourself independently, or some people prefer to book a package holiday which includes the flights, airport transfers and the hotel, so maybe an all-inclusive hotel or half board or bed and breakfast. I think there's a lot more options now, or maybe we're just aware of more options and you can make your holiday as expensive or cheap as you like.
And the last question is, do you like to plan your trips or do you travel spontaneously?
I'm someone who likes to plan everything, so I need to have a trip planned totally in about 3 or 4 months in advance. And I would write everything down in a book of train times, plane times. I'd research different cafes to go to and do as much research as I can. And then when I arrive, then I can go and explore the city and be a bit more spontaneous. But with travel arrangements, I need everything really planned and written down for me.
If you have enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and remember to subscribe. In the comments, you can tell us where you travelled to on your last holiday. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next video.